Hi guys, I'm going to show you in this tutorial how I make my Gaffe poncho. It is super easy and you only need about 3.5 ounces of yarn, so very little yarn needed for this project. But today I'm going to be using this beautiful Yarn Bee Soft Secret in the color blue teal. It is 100% acrylic yarn and it is the weight number 4, okay? And we will also be utilizing a 5mm hook for the neck opening and a 6mm hook for the body. This poncho will be done very similar to my other ponchos because, as you know, this evolved out of a mistake that I made, hence the name Gaffe poncho. So we're going to start with our traditional, I'm going to leave a long tail for sewing at the end, but we're going to start with a slip knot. And we're going to start with our foundation half double crochet chain. We're going to chain 3 and yarn over and insert back into the very first stitch and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook there, and you're going to yarn over and go through the first loop only to create your chain, and then you're going to yarn over and go through the rest of the 3 loops to create your half double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that last chain that you made there, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. And you will continue doing this until you have 72 foundation half double crochet. I will see you at the end. All right guys, so I finished my 72 foundation half double crochets and my yarn just is still attached here, so I'm going to find the other side here, keeping my strap straight so that I can attach it to the other side here. And so we will slip stitch to the top here. I'm going to attach it with a slip stitch here. Beautiful. And then I'm going to attach the bottom part here temporarily so that later on off camera I could just use that long tail that we left to just hold those 2 stitches together. Okay, so we're going to begin and we're going to chain 4. That's going to be our first treble. We're going to yarn over twice and go into that first stitch with another treble. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Now we have 2 treble crochets, and then we're going to chain 3. There's 3. And we're going to yarn over twice and make 2 more trebles into the same space. Here's 1 treble, yarn over twice, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and yarn over and go through 2. That makes your last treble. So this is what your first V stitch, if you will, increase looks like. Okay, and so what we're going to do next is just you're going to count depending on how many stitches you made your opening. I recommend doing the 72. This does give you a pretty wide neck opening, and if you change the neck opening, you can change it to adjust your liking. It will change the poncho the way it looks a little bit. It is meant to be from shoulder to shoulder, the opening, but you can adjust it if you don't want it so wide. Okay, however, I do need to find the middle, so let me do that. Okay, so this poncho was 72 inches. So half of 72, if I take 35 and 35, that gives me 70, right? So 70 plus 71 for the increase and 72 for the other increase. So if I want 35 stitches on one side of the poncho and 35 stitches on the other side, that means that I'm going to count from this stitch here to find my center. I'm going to count 35 and then into the 36th stitch, that'll be my center. I'm going to insert my increase when I get here. So I've gone ahead and put a stitch marker there to help me remember. And something I didn't do for this stitch is switch over to our 6mm hook. So we're going to chain 4 with our 6mm hook. You could use a 5, but I like how quickly it works up with a 6 and the big wide opening. So we're gonna stick with the 6. All right, and we'll do everything I already said to do. I'm just redoing it with the 6mm hook, okay? So we'll redo that V-stitch increase, and there it is, much better, okay? So what we're gonna do now in this first row is we're going to always chain 3 and yarn over twice. So this V-stitch is coming out of here. We're gonna skip the next one, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, we'll create a treble crochet. We're gonna chain 3 and yarn over twice again and go into the same stitch and make another treble. Okay, and that's your repeat all around. Chain 3, yarn over twice, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, make 1 treble, chain 3, and yarn over twice and make another treble. So continue repeating this all the way till you get to your stitch marker, which would be your center of the poncho, and I'll meet you there. Okay guys, so I've made it close enough to my center stitch marker here. I chain 3 after the V stitch here. We're gonna yarn over twice, so we're gonna go right into that stitch marker or stitch that is marked and make our next treble. And we're gonna yarn over twice and go back in with another treble. Oops, don't lose your stitches. Okay, and then we're gonna chain 3 and then yarn over twice and go back in there with another treble and yarn over twice and 1 more treble. Okay, so that is going to complete our center V-stitch increase, and I'm going to keep the stitch marker there to remind me as I go around. So continue making regular V-stitches the way that you have. Chain 3, yarn over twice, skip 3 and into the 4th, and I'll see you at the end of this row, okay? Okay, I'm at the end of my row here. Oh, I think I still have to do one more. So we're going to, I already chained 3. We're going to yarn over twice. We're going to skip 3 and into the 4th, make our last treble V-stitch. Okay. And we will chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch to the beginning of that chain 4. So let's stop right here. One thing I do want to note to remind you is that whatever your center is, make sure that you have the same amount of V stitches in between on both sides. So here's my increase, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 V stitches, and then my increase. And on this side, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then my increase, okay? So just make sure your sides are even, you didn't make any mistakes, okay? And so we've slip stitched already to the top of that 4th chain. We're gonna slip stitch into the next treble, and we will slip stitch into the center here. And now we will chain 4 again. Yarn over twice and make another treble in there. Chain 3, yarn over twice and make 2 more trebles all into the same space. Okay, and that's our increase. Okay, so moving on from here, super easy. what you're going to do for the next, I did a total of 10 rows. You can make this as long or short as you want. You don't want to make more than 10 because you want this poncho to land the length of it at your elbow, okay? So we're going to go ahead and chain 3, yarn over twice, and we're going to be working in the center of the V stitches, okay? That's how this poncho is different from the other one. And we will chain 3 and yarn over twice and go into this same space, okay? And so we have a V stitch on top of the V stitch. We're going to chain 3 and yarn over twice and go into the next V stitch with another V stitch. That's all you do, is make a treble, chain 3, yarn over twice, another treble, and chain 3, and continue on all the way around, okay? And you just keep doing that. I made a total of, just to be sure, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I did 10 rows. So I will see you at the end of my 10th row and show you what my pattern looks like, okay? Okay guys, so I have completed my poncho. As you can see her here, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows. She is so beautiful. Now I'm going to show you how I attach the fringe. Okay, so for the fringe, I'm using about a 12-inch piece of yarn. You can take an object that you have and just kind of wrap it around multiple times and then just cut it so that you can make a lot of them at one time. And then you're going to take 6 of them, okay? I'm gonna try to match them up here so they're all the same length on one end. And you're gonna take all 6 of them, and I'm gonna show you how I attach them. You can even them out later, okay? Hold on. Okay, so I take my 6 strands and I'm going to find a V-stitch. So right here's one, and I'm gonna go in there and attach the fringe that way. I'm gonna take another cluster of 6, so you need 6 of them. You can do less or more, it's up to you. I'm gonna go in the center one here, pull it through there, and just bring it through. And that's how this is the tail that I have to weave in, okay? And continue going all the way around with 6 pieces of yarn going into these V stitches, okay? And that's how you get the fringe all the way around, and I will show you what she looks like at the end of the video. But you are essentially done. Isn't she beautiful?